Today I'm going to be talking about a concept that I use a lot in my own life of rolling a boulder up a mountain. So please stick around for that. So before I get started, I wanted to kind of make a clarification on something that I talked about in my last episode about time and place. I started to talk about my wife and how she misses her mom. And because I don't really want to use other people as an example, I kind of skipped through things and moved on to me and how I deal with things. And after watching the video back, I kind of looked like I was saying that I was right and she was wrong. In the way that she deals with things as an extrovert, there is a way to still use time and place. And for her missing her mom, she can make time, obviously, and change her place by going to see her. So, sorry for any confusion as far as that's concerned, but I did want to clear that up. Now, as far as in this episode, with this concept of rolling a ball up a mountain or a boulder, it's very similar, I guess, to the mythological story of Sisyphus, if you're familiar with that. And so for those of you who don't know, Sisyphus was a king, and he was punished for cheating death. And his punishment was that he had to push a large boulder up a mountain. And every time he got close to the top, the boulder fell down to the bottom. And so I use this analogy in my life in a lot of ways. And the mountain, in the way I use it, is any goal that you have. And so if you're trying to lose weight or beat an addiction or get a job or get educated, it really works in any goal or facet of your life. And then the boulder represents everything that you're carrying around. So your relationships, your job, your mental stresses, it really is your baggage. And so, in this analogy also, rolling the ball up the hill, going towards your goals in a healthy way, is a little bit harder, oftentimes a lot harder, than obviously letting the ball roll downhill, being unhealthy. And so this kind of represents the resistance we all have, especially if we don't have the skills to naturally be healthy. I'm not sure if anybody has those skills naturally or not. I know I definitely didn't. And so making healthy decisions was very much going against the grain and put a lot of effort in things. And so the reason this analogy works so well is because once you get that ball rolling and get some momentum behind it, things do get easier. And so there's a saying that I tell myself a lot, that we get good at the things that we practice. And so when I am mentoring people about mental illness, and I will say things, for instance, of getting up in the morning, when my alarm goes off, I just get up. There's no thought, there's no emotion. Alarm means a get up. And they often will say that they can't do that. And they're right for now. And so my advice to those people is to just try and keep trying. And in anything that you are good at, and I know we're all good at something, it's because you put in the practice. I know a lot of people are inclined to things. I know with me, music was always very easy, and I was able to learn very quickly. But I still practiced, and I believe that musical inclination came from my enjoyment of music, and also I guess my need for that hobby. And so things aren't always easy, but even when they are, you still need to practice. And so one of the sayings that I learned when I was in sales, I guess I technically am still in sales, is that the best time to make a sale is after a sale. And this goes back to the momentum that I was talking about. When you have the frame of mind of positivity, positive things are drawn to you. You know, when people are lonely and wondering why they don't have a relationship, they'll often find that once they're in a relationship, people seem to be attracted to them all of a sudden. And so it's one of those strange things that happens where there may be a drought, but once it starts to rain, it starts to pour. And you can use those types of momentums in your life. I know, for instance, with me personally right now, I am dealing with diabetes and watching what I eat, and have been watching what I eat for several years now. And over the last 4 days, maybe, I have been eating very poorly. And so now getting back on track is a lot harder because my ball right now is rolling downhill. And so not only do I need to get that ball rolling back up the hill and get my diet back on track, but I first got to stop that momentum before I get that rolling the other way. And so it's kind of a weird, unfortunate element in all of this, that you need a couple of wins under your belt to get that momentum, but you can get there. Even if you break it up into even smaller pieces. For me, with my mental health, I've talked to a lot of people that are suicidal or just really in a despair. And I have told them that in my life, I couldn't take things one day at a time. Sometimes I had to go breath to breath and just fight for myself and for my life, really. And so sometimes you really have to break it down really small. Make it through this minute and think of something positive. Get some positivity, borrow positivity from other aspects of your life, and try to use that positive feeling, that positive momentum, and bring it into the task at hand, whatever that is. And so this metaphor is something that I use in all aspects of my life. And so when I'm not getting the results that I want or that I think I deserve sometimes, I will ask myself, which way is my ball rolling? As I said earlier, I'm very aware that my diet has gotten off track in these last few days. I know that. And so tonight, one of the things that I do as for my diet, when it gets late at night, tonight it's a little bit late. I get hungry. I don't do well when I eat a meal late at night. Part of me wants to just go to a restaurant, pick up some junk food and eat it and go to sleep with that full feeling. But what I do when I'm healthy is I eat nuts. I get a bowl of nuts. I have my bowl right here. I eat some nuts. It fills me up. At least gets me to when I go to sleep. I know I'm going to wake up starving tomorrow. I'm okay with that. But I needed a win under my belt. And so I started drinking water. I ate a bowl of nuts. And that doesn't erase the bad food I had just the last meal, just a couple hours ago. And it doesn't erase the bad meal that I ate yesterday. But it's a little win for me to go to bed tonight and to wake up and get my ball rolling in the right direction. This can be used in all kinds of aspects of your life, whether it's your education, your relationships, any kind of addiction. You know, when you're fighting little battles at a time, or doing homework a little bit at a time, or tasks at your job a little bit at a time, or relationships, just little incremental wins. And so it's one of those basic concepts that I use in my life that I hope is helpful for you. That's all I have for this episode. I will see you next time, and you all have a good night.